We are recording. Hi, Dr. Rosser. Thank you for meeting with
future
me.
Dr. Stafford.
I know. She recently became Dr. Rosser, so that's why. So I sent you the agenda. There's 4 things on the agenda. Most of it we've already been like talking about throughout the year,
Right.
but just some updates. So on my district project, I've been doing the mentoring videos.
Mhm.
For my last one, I kind of want to do like a appreciation of the mentors.
Mhm.
So maybe like opening up with a thank you note and maybe the mentees saying thank you to their mentors. I just need to get a list from you of the mentees.
Absolutely.
And then maybe get a list of the mentors and have them do like testimonials, and then the mentees do testimonials, and I can crop and edit and do all that. And then see the mentor teachers in action, get some video of that, and then have like a closing of like thank you or you're great teachers, you're shaping the future.
I love it.
Do you have anything you suggest?
No, but as you were talking, I was thinking of a video, and I was thinking about our mentor mentee celebration that we do each year, which I was thinking, how can I get this projected? Because there's not really a way to get it projected. But with that said, I think I would want us to highlight it on social media, like to have Alishka put that, that out around that same time of year, because I think that's also Teacher Appreciation Week,
right.
and so I think that would be. I think that would be super awesome.
Like teacher appreciation, it's usually
it's usually the first or second week of May.
I can have it done by then. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and if you can't, that's okay, because then it's always a good launch for the end of the school year too. So I think what I mean, I know putting together and editing things is not easy, but I love that idea. Every year I think, because I do the middle of year and end of year survey that I send to the mentors and mentees, and so the mentees' comments are just always so positive about I wouldn't be here if it weren't for this person. And every year I think about finding the time to take that comment and sending it to the mentors, like, hey, your mentee, and it doesn't happen with as many as we have, but I mean, it is important. So I'm like, how can I find time for that? But I think this video is a great way to validate that. Both you're almost to the end of your first year or your second year, and then also the validation of how powerful the mentor.
And if I had time, I was even going to do like the apprenticeship. I know they have well, do they have apprenticeship?
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is getting off of our agenda, but I would say our on-ramp 4s have official mentors. Our on-ramps 1 through 3, I don't know if we named that correctly. I mean, we said mentors, and I think some of them have very strong people that have taken on that role. Others just time-wise or whatever haven't. But I think next year we'll call those like a buddy classroom, or which like we do.
That's what we do for teachers if they've been a teacher before, but just not in the district. The buddy.
Because what they need, like Ariana, right? She needs. She does some of her homework or her apprentice tasks through the base program, but she also might need to have a buddy teacher in a general ed classroom where she can go do a lesson in there and practice skills that she's learning.
Okay, so, I'll probably for them I'll probably just stick to my apprentices because I know them. But the focus will be the mentors and mentees, and then like I said, if I have some time, I'll sprinkle in some of my apprentices on my campus. Okay, so that's good. And then I know the main chunk of this is going to be the job fair that I'm going to on Monday. And so you said the email that we sent out. Since we're recording, I'll look on your computer.
Let me pull it up. Let me go to my son. And that's just thinking about university job fairs and stuff that. When I think about which ones we're going to, and obviously we have to budget out, and because travel expenses, if it's an out of town overnight one, A&M is not necessarily an out of town overnight, even though it is out of town, but it's not one you would necessarily go overnight. But they cost. We pay a registration fee for all of the job fairs, and it usually differs from like $250 to $300, $400. That typically includes like a breakfast and lunch, for the attendees. And some universities say you can have 4 recruiters. Some say no more than 2 recruiters. So when mapping out where to go, we're definitely trying to go to those our partner universities, but really we've talked about increasing and looking at our universities that also serve like Texas State is a known serves more of a Hispanic population.
Right.
Houston Tillotson, I've been on a wait list and we got there this year.
Good.
Yes. And so really thinking about those universities, with the exception, like I was at Tech on Monday, Tuesday, it is not usually a diverse job fair, but there's quality candidates, out of there. Now some of them are going to Dallas or staying in West Texas, but so that's some thought we put into it. And like 2 I went to last year, I'm not going back to. One was University North UNT, because everyone I talked to was like, no one's area. And then I went to Nacogdoches for Stephen F. Austin, and a lot of them were going to Houston. So really thinking about too, it's good for us to put ourselves out there. But if we're not seeing a return, then maybe maybe not. So I'm really wanting to go to UTEP this year, and they just posted theirs for bilingual recruiting. The only thing is, and I've heard this about if you go to recruit in the Valley or at El Paso, a lot of the bilingual teachers want to stay there. So it's got to be, what can we offer here, or if they have family here or whatever. Stephanie Hernandez, do you know?
I think so.
Hernandez. It'll do that. And I'll stop recording if you're not careful.
Okay.
So when it does that, just she is now she was a first.
I've heard of her name.
Yeah, she was a 5th grade teacher at Cottonwood Creek, and then moved to first, but she's now the bilingual ESL specialist for the district.
Okay.
She really wanted to go recruit in the Valley for bilingual teachers. So I may see if she wants to go to UTEP. That's a lot more than just about A&M job fair, but I wanted you to know the background of kind of how we kind of make those decisions. And so then the universities always send out this reminder. And so you probably know your way around.
I think so. Is it at the expo?
Oh, it is.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's not on
at
campus.
A&M when you're because I actually majored in education.
Yes.
All of the, like your senior year, I think it's called like senior method. Yeah. Senior methods before, it's a year before student teaching. It's like a requirement. You have to go.
Yes.
And so it's always at the expo center. So I know where that is.
Yes. And a lot of times the clinical, they have
the teacher. I mean,
they have them helping, like serve. And I will tell you, I was super impressed with the A&M job fair last year. We didn't end up picking up anyone from it, but we had slowed down with some letters of intent that I probably would have given out. And we'll talk about that. I think it's on your agenda about the things, but I think you're going to meet some quality candidates, which is exciting.
Right.
And it's well put together. And what you'll notice if you go to multiple job fairs is you can tell the universities that really stress to their students about coming with questions to ask and talking
a resume,
and looking at someone in the eye, shaking their hand, and A&M was probably one of the best last year.
I've been out.
Well, you probably
2016, so almost 10 years. But if it's the same way, we have an actual class all semester about like resumes and interviews and everything. But before that preparation is always like, look them in the eye. They might ask you to interview, like, and what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna be like, oh no, I'll schedule? Are you gonna sit down? That might be the job that you need, right? So again, like I was excited when you emailed because I was like, yes, it's my alma mater, but like I'll probably see some of my professors.
That might be
because they stay a long time. They usually stay.
That'll be cool.
They've been there for years.
You'll have to let me know that. Yeah. Okay, so you can. It starts at 9. I can't remember what time I left here last year.
Okay, it usually takes 2 hours.
Does it from here? Okay. So I feel like I got. I remember it was dark, and it was raining. So hopefully there will be no rain on you. And then you can check in as early as 7:30, but they actually have a good breakfast. Some don't, but they have a good breakfast. So, there's that. So a lot of colleges will send their list of students who are attending. Some people will send an email and say, "Hey, I'd love to chat with you." So you have this.
Okay.
That might be something neat to do. You know, and if you want me to take a look at it beforehand or whatever, but don't. So this also tells you about how many students are going to be there.
Okay.
And you can let me know because too, if you're like, I don't know that email, and I can always do that by Monday and say, hey, not Monday because it is Monday, but I could do that Sunday, Sunday evening or something and send out something that we're going to be there. I haven't done that a lot, but I know it's a good practice. Things just sneak up. Okay, so this list of pre-register, and this just tells you about the table and all of that.
For the table,
yes.
Are there business cards? Do I bring my business cards?
You can bring your business cards. I can. Don't let me forget.
I have mine.
Okay,
well, Becky read them out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let me give you some of mine too, and then also. I'll print these out. I'm going to make myself a note because with our screening interviews that we're doing, I have a little QR code that I did really, really, really quick. Oh, I did all those. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send it to you. And what I did last year is I just pulled it up on my phone and how to scan it. And because it takes them to the calendar invite to sign up for an interview. Like if you're like, hey, I'd love for you to interview with our talent management team and a campus principal, have them scan that so they can sign up for a slot. Yeah, you'll have internet. Let's see. We wouldn't do any of this, so we don't have to do that. And then that was something I was considering going to, but it just hasn't worked. It didn't work out. So that is that. Questions on logistics?
I guess it's still logistical for like I guess I'm wondering like, do I need to know from the district how many openings we do have? Like, what if they ask me like, what are you having next year? Is it something I can get in for like access to, or is it just
what I typically talk about is not specifics, and I'll just tell you too from that high level balcony view. Right now, if I told someone something, it could change because transfer windows is about to open district wide, and I was just in a meeting before you with Eric from Lee Martinez and Amy and Kathy looking at their surplus staff that are having to be moved. And you probably know this, you know this very well from last year when y'all lost teachers at Pedal Middle to Gus. So what I tell candidates is that we're a fast growth district. We hire about 30 to 40 new teachers every year. And so we're always looking for great people to join our team. And then I talk to now if they tell me they're sped, I know we're going to have an opening. Tell me more is what I say. They said those magic words. And if they tell me they're bilingual, also, let's talk, set some additional time. Other hard to fill areas, it used to be science, but we're actually good with science. Yes. Spanish.
Or the languages.
Yes. Spanish is right now probably because y'all lost.
Yes. We found one though. She's going through the certification.
That's right.
She's doing well. She's on my T-test list. And I just had her T-test because I had to speed it up because we had to get them all in. She did amazing. So I'm very hopeful that it'll be.
She's
Stabila.
Yes, I remember when she started. Now that you said that, but Spanish is always hard to fill. And then what I talk to them about is if I'm feeling like, you know what, I'd like to know more about this candidate. Now, if it's a candidate and at Huddle Middle School, y'all are going to need a 6th grade math teacher. And this person starts talking about math and also just speaking to middle school and and you're like, oh my goodness, this person I feel like could be a strong candidate. I would probably have you text me and say, hey, I'd like, because what we would do is I would let you say, hey, I'd really like for my talent management team to reach out to your references with the potential of a letter of intent. I have not handed one out yet at a job fair when principal. So it's someone that is just like knocking your socks off. Because otherwise our process is to go through our screening interview. And so that's why I have that QR code. They can sign up for a slot on our calendar. We'll do virtual because I know that unless they can make it, which would be awesome. But once they sign up for a slot, they can, and I'm going to send you my blurb that I send about the screening interviews because they could also always, let's see. It's not on that one. I'm just going to share this with you. This is what we send out when we want to interview a candidate, is because it tells them about the process. So So two, I'm going to backtrack. What oftentimes when I'm talking to a candidate, do you have a resume?
Right.
And then I'm going to make a note if I want to make sure this person interviews with us. I also always make a note about grade level preference and subject. Okay. That way, because you're going to think you're going to remember this person.
Right.
And Tuesday morning, you're going to be like, wait, what did they say? It just never fails. So you make those notes, and then you can say, hey, Rosser, these 5 candidates, I gave them a slot. That if you don't see their name come through, please let's follow up with an interview.
Okay.
So I was fortunate at Tech. Like I had 2. I was going to email them, but they emailed me before I even got back, and they had already signed up for a slot, and so that happens naturally. Sometimes too. But I'm going to just share this document with you. And have y'all taken a look as APs at Huddle Middle at our teacher screening spreadsheet?
Is that so Kayla at our admin meeting, she shared the one that she sent out of like who's coming back, who that one? Yeah. No, I haven't seen it, no.
And I know this isn't about the job fair, but just because we're talking about hiring, and I know you have that human capital, aspirations. Last January, we started in the talent management department screening applicants. So any teaching applicant I pull, and Jen and Ryan are helping me this year. I pull and then I take notes on them, and so we pre-screen so that principals know, okay, this person we cannot hire because of this reason. Have you seen this?
No, but I haven't. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah. And so if we're like, yes, we can hire this person, we put a yes, and then we send them that template that I just sent with you. That's an invite to schedule an interview. And then so once they've scheduled, then we have slots every Thursday for people to come interview. And I usually ask the elementary people to take like the first 2 or 3, and secondary people to take the others, and then principals sign up to come join us on those interviews. And it's either Jen, Ryan, or me leading, the interview, and then a principal. And APs are welcome too. So if you want,
I know Kayla she
came a lot.
Yeah, she always says like I have to do it. I'm like, okay, and we're like, who's leaving? She's like, no, they're just trying to get a pool.
And that's what we do. And so this is what we keep. These are all of the letters of intent that we've given out either via that process, or we're hiring 10 Teach for America teachers.
I knew about that. She told us that.
Okay. And then, because she came to the interview. And then these, of course, are our residents and student teachers that we've signed. And so this is where sometimes we get a little nervous. It's like, oh, we've already got 26 LOIs. We've got surplus. We've got that. We've got to make sure that all of these people have slots.
Right.
And so then if Bree wants to hire 20 Aggies, are we going to have room for, but with that said, what the data I pulled last year, or the last 2 hiring seasons, we've hired over 130 teachers the last 2 years. So that gives me, now the thing is like right now we have 4 student teachers who are interested in chemistry. We don't have 4 open. We needed a chemistry teacher for 2 years, and now, but we don't have chemistry, open slots now. So that kind of puts a play is, are we going to have a position? But like Dr. Malone and I talk, is because we're a district of innovation, you may want to teach chemistry, and that may be your area of certification, but you can also teach math, because we're a district of innovation, and so anyways, just that kind of process, and then also we put that, like, we're like, we like you, but we're not going to cry if you don't come work in our district, but we think you'd be great. We put them in the pool. And so are you going to the job fair? You are going to the job fair. So I'll have a printout of anybody that's in the pool and anyone who signed an LOI, so that if they come by and introduce themselves and say, hey, I'm in the pool, they've already been vetted. Y'all don't have to interview them again. You can just say, hey, come to a campus tour. Let's chat more. So anyways, this is just kind of a process we kind of started to try to form a deep talent pool for our administrators because of the number of people we hire. Okay.
No, you're okay.
I feel like it's still about the agenda.
And you kind of answered almost everything. Are there any other things that, I know you gave me your blurb, you told me, is there anything like if if you were the superintendent, is there anything you would want me to convey about our district?
I talk a lot about the culture of Hippo Nation, right? And, and in tech, where is Hutto? I'm like, well, here,
right.
It's outside of Austin. We've grown. And you can talk about your experience as a teacher and moving into an administrator and the things that make Hutto special to you. Like I talk a lot about, in spite of that fast growth, this district has remained a family, that family feel. And I say, I know small town feel sounds very cliche, but it is really important to the community that it remains tight knit. And that maybe I don't know everyone's name anymore. But I know they work in our district, and there's just a connection. There's just something special about being a Hutto Hippo, and so I think your insight too, and that's what I use a lot too. Is like I started as a teacher in this district, is just my experience as an educator. A lot of them will ask. I think A&M, there are a lot of questions where, how do you support first and second year teachers? Well, you can speak to the mentor program. You can also speak to anything you do on your, your campus. And then I'm trying to think of some other common questions that come up. It's usually that class size. They will ask about class size, and I tell them that really our goal is at the secondary level is always about 26. Obviously, it's 22 to 1, K through 4. But I do tell them, because we're a fast growth district, there might be a class of 30, or because the way the master's schedule, there might be that, and then there may be a class of 22. It just varies. So I do try to be realistic. It's a goal. However, that's part of a school district. So
and then I was also thinking like conveying the mission statement.
Absolutely.
And,
I had some tech people ask me what the mission statement was. I feel like I say inspiring excellence about 20, 100 times or whatever during those conversations. So absolutely.
And then I think you already answered, but I don't have to conduct the interview on spot. They will just do the schedule. Okay.
Unless it's someone like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't want this person to not, and I have NEO that day, but if you text me, then I can either say turn and talk, or I'm not presenting the whole time, and I can step out and give you a call or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. And then it's good for me to take resumes. That's okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. And then what I used to do before we were doing the screening process is I would then email those to principals. But now that we're screening, I'm just kind of emailing the candidates and letting that I start. Like I'll put a little asterisk, like, oh, reach back out to this one.
Okay. Yeah. And then anything else I'm authorized to that I need to do?
I can't think of anything. I think even if what I've learned from and everybody knows that teaching, not everybody's choosing teaching, and what I've seen is that career fairs, job fairs are not what they were pre-COVID. Other school districts talk about it, like there would be line of people to talk, and so even if I walk away from a job fair and I'm like, I don't know that I met anyone that I would want to teach, I think it's still sometimes going out and getting Hutto out there. And it's a good, I think too, Bree, thinking about your career aspirations, it's good networking also with the people around you. And I've met several other HR leaders, so it's nice to.
Because I remember, I will say the reason why I came, or I wanted to be in Hutto whenever I went through the same fair, because Lisa Patterson.
Was she there?
Yes. And seeing a Black woman
awesome.
somewhere, I was like, oh my goodness. And then I had known that we were going to be moving to the Austin area because my dad's a pastor. And so he had just got a new church in downtown Austin. But my mom was like, I don't want to live in downtown. Let's move around. So we're looking for houses anyways. And so I specifically went to Austin area districts. And I remember her because I was like, all the other ones, again, no offense, no taken, but representation matters. And when I saw she was the only Black woman there, and I was like, and she's in the area that we're thinking about. And so then whenever I was graduating, I was looking, everything fell in line. Like I know it's a God thing because everything fell in line because one of my mom's childhood friends worked in Hutto, and she knew that the U.S. history teacher was leaving, and she was like, I know you guys are moving there. You should interview. And then Jason basically was like, we have all these interviews. We'll call you by the end of the week. And he ended up calling me 2 hours later. So I was like, this is meant to be because I spotted you guys, and then I wanted to go there, and then I got the interview. And so, but it all started with that one person, that one moment of like, okay, like I can do this kind of thing. So I'm hoping, you know, that's my goal, is to just be myself like I always am, and just talk about how great Huddle is, because I feel like it's a great place. And hopefully something sticks. And if not, like, again, I won't take it personally. It's just not their time to be there, but I'm just gonna enjoy the experience. So,
and that's that, I think it's good experience. And I think you might say, you know, like I've done many now, and probably the way I did my first one, I don't do you know, like you figure out how it works for you, but you're a natural people person, and so
I like to think that.
I was thinking too, as you said that, you're right about representation matters, and I know that at times, you know, like if I'm going out to recruit bilingual teachers as a white woman that cannot speak Spanish, right? When Linda Pachacano went to Texas State and UT with me, she went around and started talking to them in Spanish. Well, so that's a way that you do recruit a diverse teaching staff. You know, like I hope my sparkly personality invites people, but I like that you said I saw a Black woman in Lisa Patterson, and so I was interested in that. So I think that is hugely important, and I think about that as people go represent us at job fairs too. So thank you for saying it.
Okay, so switching gears to our job fair, is there any? I know it's on April 1st, second.
It's my mom's birthday. I keep telling myself, do not forget to text your mom on the job fair day.
My mom's birthday is in April too. It's on April 14th, and it's like star testing's coming up.
I
all
know,
the things, and I'm like, I cannot forget her 61st birthday. And so, but I'm the same way. I will forget to put on shoes if I but is there anything you would like for me to do to help plan? I know it's already practically done, but
we are. So I don't know what your Wednesday looks like.
I'm going. Kayla's gonna. She said it's an expectation that we go. So I'm going. I just didn't know if you want to get in the background.
I was going to say, or if you want to get there early and kind of help set up. I know sometimes the day depends, but we will probably get there. Let's see, we're going to the 9th grade center. We can't move much until they get out of school. But we'll probably try to get there about 3:30, 4. So if you want to get there early, that is perfectly fine. If you can, and then it might be neat for you, you know, and with Kayla's blessing, of course, to bounce around. And just so you kind of know if you're good with that, how are we doing on? We're not running out of time.
No, we're not running out of time.
Okay. What was I looking for? I'm like, what am I doing? There. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's Friday.
My brain stopped working on Monday, I think.
I was so grateful that you said yes, because I was going to know it's Friday at 3.
So this is what I've shared with principals already, and typically what I send out every year is just like the logistics, where we'll be, and if I should have updated it and had it in the principal's weekly memo today, but it's not. And so just tips of things that and what I told them is you know what I just told you about the LOI teacher pool list, what should be going on at tables, and then if they interview someone if y'all interview someone you'll want to get to text either Dr. Malone or me down, so we can be now this is super important. We're not giving letters of intent to people who are not certified. And that's so that happens a lot at our universities, but sometimes they're like, I've already passed all my tests.
At A&M, you have to pass.
Yes,
at least one before you graduate.
That's a high one.
Whether it's PPR or the actual certificate, you have to pass at least one. That's the graduation requirement. That's what it was when I was in school.
Yeah. So. Well, that's good because not all universities, they're getting better, but we've had to give some feedback to some of our partner universities. It's like we've got residents that have been with us now year 2 of teaching, still working on their certification. We gotta help. What was I going to say too about? I was going to say an exception to this is sometimes our CTE fields at the high school because of our district of innovation plan, and that they don't necessarily have to work towards that certification. We prefer that they do, but sometimes if they've been like a nurse for 20 years, then a lot of that goes because it's that real world. And then I always also create a behind the scenes copy for, I think that's what it's called, for the HR team.
Okay.
Oh, your Amazon our team meeting from last week. Oh, I took behind the scenes out of the title. That's why. So, this just kind of tells our team, hey, here's what you'll do during it. And so we've got 3 people as greeters and sign-ins. We always have a hospitality room. We'll have Chick-fil-A. And then I've got Ryan and Jen stationed at actually an HR talent management table. So we always have people with certification questions. And then also if a principal wants to interview them outside, like they can interview them on spot. Y'all can do that. I think we're going to have some tables even set up for that. And then, but if they want them to come to screening interview, we'll sign them up at that time. And then we kind of always have a to-do list. Like we're printing out anyone who's RSVP'd, we're printing out name tags for them. We do that. Let's see. I typically, anyone who has applied, like I need to email our teachers in our talent our pool already and say, hey, please come. Meet our campus principals, our other campus administrators. And so this is just kind of our running list as we get ready to host. And right now, I was going to say the other night I had 55 RSVPs thus far. I need to put something else out on social media. We've done, I think it's about the same amount.
Teacher that used to be at our campus.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too.
I know he was going out to another.
Yeah, what did he put? He put something about
he
returned. I remember. And did he go to Gus or he was going to?
No, he was going to go to Gus, and then he didn't want to go, and then he ended up finding. I don't know if he went to the district or just did. What did he say? I've been gone. I've had 3 more. He was really good.
That's good.
And he's bilingual.
That's good. Yeah.
So he did math for us.
I thought I remember. I remember him.
But he's SPED certified too, though.
Yeah, I saw that he just outed that.
I think he wanted to be a SPED teacher, but we weren't allotted for any more.
Yeah.
And so he was the last math, so he had to go, and he was like, I don't want to. I love you guys. I don't want to. I'll try to find something else. I don't know if he stayed in the education or not, but
I don't know. So that's. I was going to tell you, we do typically for our job fair do a little paid advertising on LinkedIn and Facebook. And LinkedIn, I didn't know it could do this until a couple of years ago, but like you can put in certain algorithms to find people who are in, things that randomly show up on your Facebook.
Yeah. So talk about something that's running there and like you or the FBI's watching.
But it finds these algorithms, find people that live in this area that have an interest for that, whatever. And so hopefully we've randomly showed up on some people's Facebook and LinkedIn accounts. I feel like this is a bigger RSVP list than we had last year, and then there are always some that show the night up. I will tell you, my biggest fear every year when it is time for the job fair to start is people not showing up because I never want to waste campus administrators' time. Also, we have 3 or 4 alternative certification agencies coming. Because if y'all meet a great candidate and they're like, well, I want to go into, we're like, well, here's 4. Go talk to them and let's get you enrolled. So,
Okay. And then, so lastly, I just have to make sure we're good on time. Oh, we're great. We got about 10 minutes. Just some questions that I have just to get more insight on. Again, I know you do have your
I haven't taken the test
but I know you're like done.
I'm about to. I'm probably June.
So if you could just answer in the lens of your role, but also I know you've been through the program, so if you want to answer like, if I were to, do whatever you need. But what is your role when it comes to your what you do when it comes to the district budget?
So as like campus gets their budget and that y'all work on that, get input. We do the same thing in our department. And so my role has been the last 2 years is within the human capital realm.
Okay.
What do you need? So budgeting for job fairs, budgeting for swag, budgeting for new employee orientation, budgeting for meals for job. You know, like everything. But it's not the biggest budget because like our platforms are going to take the.
I was going to ask you what's the biggest one, but
yeah, it is. I don't know how much Frontline is or is going.
I know. I saw the email about they made it live or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It's like wait,
I saw Liz too because Liz is our registrar.
Oh, okay.
What's Liz's last name? Elizabeth.
Oh, McMaster. Yes.
And I started because I was over there, and she came through. And I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm a contract project."
She
is. And she was telling me more about Frontline, and
Yes.
I was like, "I know we use it for the East Bed,
Yes.
but it's gonna be cool to use it to be all mainstream on one
Yes.
thing." So yeah.
Yes. Hi, Lacey.
Hey.
How are you? Good. We're talking about A&M and doing something but I've got stuff ready for you. Bree's going to A&M Monday morning.
Yes.
How you're going and Ginger, I think, is going to go too. Yes.
Yeah, and then so I'm going to.
And so do you have anybody else in the department that want to go with you? I'll send an email to principals and just say, hey, is anybody available? But unless you have someone in mind.
I don't.
Okay.
Cassandra would send it out, and it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe they forgot, but like since then,
Yeah.
like, hey, we want to try and have representation for weekends and do so nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But
Okay. Well, if no one else, you feel good
Oh,
about me?
yeah.
Okay.
No, that's
So
fine.
you could always take a teacher or something too. That's something I'd like, as we were talking about job fair and stuff, that's something I would like us to start practicing is a teacher. Because what better, a college student, all right, tell me, teacher, what you know, just have that experience. So.
well, I might be able to ask Amber Northern.
Oh,
because they're really kind of flexible.
Yeah.
With their kids are out on job sites.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
So maybe I'll ask them.
If you want to,
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
And then I've kind of been going over with her, if you find a candidate, especially, I told her if they say special ed or bilingual, it's like, oh, tell me more. Let's stay and talk longer. But from your sped realm, if you talk to someone who is working on their certification or close to their certification with special education that you think would be great to the team, I'll email you or I can write it down, my phone number. I mean, shoot me a text and say, hey, this is someone that I think we would want to have, and how to, and we can talk about a potential letter of intent. Okay. I'll also send you what I've shared with her is just like a blurb that our screening interview process.
Great.
And so I pull up on my phone the QR code so they can find a calendar slot, let them scan that and say, I'd love for you to interview with our talent management team and principals. Yeah. If it's someone else who's like, hey, this person's probably great, I just don't know if we're ready to commit to them until they go through that interview process.
Right.
I haven't done any letters of intent at any of the job fairs as of yet, just because
it's few and far between.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just not enough time for me to get a great fill. Now, there were 3 at Tech that I'd love to pick up, but I want to talk to them some more. Before making that decision. Okay. Tell me your number and I'll shoot you a text.
Perfect. My number is 512.
Okay.
It's Friday at almost 4. I understand.
3248.
3248. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna call you instead because I didn't go to the text message tab, and then you'll have my number.
Perfect. Great. How was Mason?
I wasn't there today because I had STAR training.
Okay.
But I know the morning was good. What are we at Friday? Wednesday, it was good. He had a good day. Wednesday, he got picked up early for a doctor's appointment. And then yesterday, I didn't hear anything. But also, I'm not assistant principal. Mr. Mann is. So usually I don't, unless it's just like crazy. We all do. That's what we're all in the staffing. But Mr. Mann usually handles it. But I didn't hear anything, so I'm hoping. Yeah. Okay, but I know Ms. Hemingway has been working with our lit teachers about helping our R&I teachers helping in and our base staff when they're available or helping as well. So I know there's been emails going on about a schedule to.
And we had Diamond Pueblos
today. Yes.
So maybe that.
I knew that. Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, she's good too.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
What questions?
meetings.
Okay, well, you have my number, so
Yes,
text. I'll be
yeah.
doing NEO, but I can always step out for a phone call or whatever.
Great.
So I have in here, I didn't get printed a second page, but I could send it to you, or if you.
I
Are you doing
Ginger knew that I was going out, so she grabbed some extra. Like I have some flyers.
Okay, perfect.
I have some like things to put the flyers
Nice.
in. So
Perfect.
Ginger grabbed extra.
Okay, then that is wonderful. And then there's a tablecloth in here and some other table swags, some squishy hippos. You can take.
Are you bitches?
Okay,
all of
perfect.
those things.
You can take the step to, yeah. And I always like to have this head peeking out while I'm carrying it, so people know.
So cute.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yes, no, thank you. I told Cassandra I appreciate Sped jumping in and going when y'all can, so.
Anytime that we can help, like, it's tough because, like, you know, we're not their supervisor, but we work so closely with them.
Absolutely.
So anytime we can help with recruiting or interviews, like, we're all about it.
Right.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
We love to be
I think
involved.
we found, speaking of, yesterday, our last screening interview was a teacher who's moving here from Liberty Hill. She is moving in with her kids. She lost her husband, but she is 15-year experience behavior teacher who wants to do high school behavior.
Oh,
After teaching for 15 years.
It's just gonna.
Well, I told Burns, he would happen to be here. Hello.
How y'all doing?
Great, how are you? And I said, hey, we've got to check references, however, and he's like, yes, we will take her. So hopefully her references check out today. So.
Well, enjoy your weekend.
You too, Lacey. Thank you so much.
Sign up. Can I go up here? Just gotta-
Did you have to sign in?
I signed in.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't. I'm making things up. You can go out there. An alarm will not sound.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. You answered already. And then
Did I answer the
yes.
budget thing?
And then most of these you've already kind of hit throughout.
Okay.
But so like you already did the challenges. You talked about data and metrics and how you did all that.
Can I throw in?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that this is true of every HR department, but data is something that under Dr. Malone's leadership that we've really worked on the last 3 years is having that we should be looking at data and tracking data. So we've kind of put together, and a lot of them are beginning of year, middle year, end of year updates, so that we know where we are as a district. You know, like our vacancy. There's our September vacancies, and then is this the right one? I think so. Fill rates, new hires as of December, total guest educators that we've hired, and so this is always the one, like teachers that are on the road to certification, because it's important, you know. And now what we realized is Ryan's like, oh, I should have. We have beginning year, middle year, but knowing which teachers have now our standard based on this. So this kind of shows you, like, out of not all of our teachers. How many new teachers do we have? So we have 16% of our teaching staff are on the road to certification. Okay. And these are all of the ways that they are on that road, whether an emergency permit, you can see the majority are under DOI or District of Innovation Plan. This is a non-renewable permit, so that's similar to a 1 year. So just kind of so we know too, this is something I really want to get into, make it a part of our mentor-mentee program as well. Because it matters if I'm mentoring someone who's on an emergency permit, who is probably doing this, and that while trying to teach, you know. So would you know that? But anyways, I'm proud of our department that we keep up with this data, because I think it's important. And I don't know that it was something that other than the retention rate, and those were things this department was doing, previously. So yeah.
And then I guess this will be our last question, but how how does the district gather and respond to feedback from employees about the job satisfaction work environment?
Yeah, that is done through our culture, our panorama survey.
Or like, I guess, what is your role? Do you have a role in it?
I do. I help. Well, I just had a meeting with Panorama today, as a matter of fact. So when that culture survey goes out, T. Mai, when she was Dr. Dawn, when she was still here, she and I kind of initiated that process and built surveys in the system, selected questions. And what we did is we selected like 10 core district questions, and then we let campuses do some add-ons. And so I kind of get that set up with the help of our Panorama rep, but we have to provide them a roster of all of our positions, and so that they can give them an anonymous link and all of that. So, and then I turn on the survey when it's time, and add users so that they can see the survey, and then close the survey when it's time as well.
When you say users, like who all sees it? I know everybody on this team, but like anybody outside.
Yeah, all of district leadership. So we spend time going over that as a district leadership team always. Administrators, assistant, you have access. I don't know if you've ever logged in before. So, and I'm happy to share it. We're probably running out of time, but another time I'm happy to share it too. But assistant principals have it because, and principals use it different ways, right? I mean, some campuses, download that report. Let's look at it as a leadership team. Our hope is that principals, though, are sitting down with their admin team and saying, "Hey, here's our survey data. Let's let it inform our." Right now,
Kayla's done that with me, with us. I didn't know I had access to it. I thought it was just more of like, this is what the people are saying. Of course, it's anonymous. You can kind of figure out who's saying what.
Sometimes the open responses, you kind of can figure it out. And obviously, you can just see HMS, and Kayla can only see HMS. She may be able to see some of the district questions. I don't think. Yeah, maybe. But like, whereas our district leadership team can see every campus. And what Dr. Malone, because I'm about to get it ready to go out April 7th. I think is going to be our date. But what I told her I think is important is if we continue to do this beginning of year, end of year survey, that we're also advertising what we've done because of it, right? If we're asking for feedback constantly, well, what is the result of that feedback? And we talked about hopefully campus principals, because I know when I would do little interim checks, if there was an overwhelming feedback, I'm like, okay, let me take this to my leadership team. Hey guys, what do we need to do? What do we need to problem solve? And so then I can say, based on our feedback from our survey, these are some changes that you all have asked for or suggested. So those surveys are important. And so my they're important to me, of course, at our department, but so my hope is that they're always important to the campuses too, and that they drive our campus needs assessment. They should drive our district needs assessment too. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording.
Oh, yes.